there.
Oh, hello. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and it's Saturday, which means I didn't have to do any prep. That's because this is Starsworn, and we're making it up as we go along. This is four GMs sitting around a table playing a game. None of us know what's going to happen next, other than the broadest strokes. We've been playing for 2 hours already. We still haven't defined the sector we're in or anything else other than we are alive and everybody else on our ship is dead because we killed them in various interesting ways during the
And
accident.
we did have a couple of great suggestions from
Yes.
community members in our Discord.
Yes, we did, and we're taking those into account along with everything else tonight. But let's talk to the people that are brave enough to come here and play with no plot and no plan. Let's start with Bison underscore Stonefist. You do lots of stuff with plans.
Yeah.
Tell us about those. I know they don't last, but you had plans.
No. I have a semblance of a plan. I think about plans a lot, but they never actually. No, I have a Kraken on my group, so nothing lasts. I'm here 4 times a week, which is a lot. It's more than I'm supposed to be, but I don't have a job anymore, so meh. Tonight I am playing Calvin Scooter Hobbs, a totally legitimate space pilot. On Saturday, I am back in the 17th century. I swear to God, it's not Germany. It's the 7th Sea, Shadow of the Vocturm. I play Gav the Grin, our resident back alley Batman. On Tuesdays, I am the schmuck that runs our Cyberpunk Red campaign. I use the term loosely because, like I said, I have a semblance of a plan. And on Thursdays, I play the super depressed emo Garrett Sakes in our City of Mist campaign, Deviant Paradox.
Wonderful. Thank you. That is a lot. That is more than me. Next, less than me, but not by much, playing Dr. James on anime for us this evening, the mighty Mudkip. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, I'm known as Mudkip on the server. As far as socials go, I am not anywhere else. That's partially because I have a job and other things that keep me away from the server. As much as I could try streaming in Discord. I know people would probably still swing by, say hi, that kind of thing, but that's when I have time. So when I've kind of carved out time is tonight on Saturday nights playing Dr. James Aname, who is going to be a medical doctor for this crew and whoever else we may come across along our journey. He has the training, but whether or not he has tools, that's what the resources are for.
Yes.
On the other night that I am
some of them are on fire right now, but yeah.
corrosion, fire, similar.
Yes.
Anyway, the other night that I am here, you've probably seen me a lot here on Thursday nights, and that is the same night that we have Garrett playing Grant. I know, roommates, both start with G's. It's probably just they thought they had the same name written twice, and they're like, oh, there are some different letters in there. So I'm trying to make a more like a hero kind of character. It's who I wanted to build. And then I forgot it was one of Sarah's games, and we'll see how that turns
out. The university registrar is dyslexic, but nobody wants to break it to her.
Those are the 2 nights. Yep, you're good.
That brings us around to our final player this evening, longtime member of the various casts and crews along the way, Cara Sophia. What else are you doing lately?
Well, I am known as Dottie and Distractible in Minecraft. So fine without a plan. Okay, whatever. If there is a plan, I'll forget it. That's just I'm off doing stuff. So this kind of game is perfect for me. No plan, great. Let's just flip some dice.
Let's and just make it up. Yeah.
I'm playing Raven Sonsi, who is the engineer.
Yes.
I mean, she's very effective as an engineer, but she is not a qualified engineer.
No, any more than Scooter is a qualified pilot, but we're in good hands. Yeah.
Mystic Engineer. Oh. Yeah, you got it, Bison.
Quasi-mystic engineer.
She doesn't know what any of the things are called. She doesn't know the proper way to put things, but man, when she's in charge, the ship runs.
She knows what it's supposed to sound like, and it doesn't sound like that now.
That's supposed to be a quantum. That's not a quantum capacitor. That's Steve, and he's cranky today.
And this time I actually have to introduce myself because I'm playing a character in tonight's game. My name is Kevin. I am easily found over in the Discord because that's kind of where I live. And other than that, we are doing, let me remember, Friday afternoons. We're doing an Up the Creek game, which is the Rapscallion game system. The Rapscallion Quick Start game system, to be honest, because I still haven't read the full instructions, even though we're almost done the game. But it's been a lot of fun, pirates flying about the place. And then this evening I am playing Dr. Billy's. And he, in the first episode, accidentally spaced all the survivors. Oops. So he's a little. There's a stat called Spirit in this game, and he ain't got any left. We've been exactly one episode. So let's use that as our segment.
Off to a great start.
Off to a classic start. Last time I played an Ironsworn game, I broke my iron vow. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, something about this game brings out the worst in me. But let's start. I think I actually want to start with Raven. I know we talked about starting with Scooter in the office, but I think Raven, you were off by yourself, right in the middle of your very broken ship.
Yes.
You had dropped off the nearly catatonic Bill with the doctor, who has discovered
dropped off. I
Yeah.
sort of said, "Here, you fix him.
Yes.
He's not part of the ship. I can't do anything with him. You fix it."
So, at the risk of sounding like I'm running things, let's start with Raven.
All right. So, Raven realized that she doesn't have the parts she needs. Those got spaced with the remaining survivors.
Yep.
And she's looking at the guts of the engine, and she has just made her iron vow of, "I'm gonna get you back to civilization for a refit." But oh boy, what do I do now? Do we want to do the mechanics of the start a session with the
Yes.
recap and the stuff?
Yes, we're supposed to do that.
Do the thing?
I was there and I clicked the button and I went away and yeah, so it was even clicked. So begin the session. When you begin a significant session or chapter of play, do all of the following. Add or adjust any flagged content. I think we're good with that. Review or recap what happened.
That's where we're at right now. Well, we kind of did that, yeah.
Yep. And set the scene by envisioning your current situation and intent, which is what you just did.
I'm about to do, yeah.
You may spotlight. We did this the first time. We did the brief vignettes. I think. Do we want to do flashbacks again so we could all get 1+1 momentum? Rather than because 1 to 10, if we'd roll the dice, 1 to 10 is a flashback revealing a background of your background, or 11 to 20 is an aspect of another character, place, or faction.
Yeah. Let's sort of continue on with this where we came from.
Yeah. So yeah. Give
All
us
right.
what is the flashback? That you're standing in the middle of the wrecked engine. Where does Raven flashback to?
I am remembering the first time I got to step in here. I'd been hovering around the docks and all, and I'd spoken up, things that I'd heard and all. But this is the first time I actually got let into this room, and it looked a lot different then. It looked kind of grungy, and but everything looked sort of sharp, and there were tools placed in this, and there were checklists, and there were indicators and things, and it felt like a totally foreign environment, but I could still hear what had drawn me in the first place, and this was where the beating heart was. And so it was like "Oh, I'm so sorry. What have they done to you? Oh, no wonder you've been crying out. No wonder you've been unhappy and cranky. I'd be fussy if I had all this stuff too." And I go in and I start, clearing some stuff away so that I can get a good look at the actual machinery. And that actual engineer, somebody want to roll me a random name? Actual engineer that just came in and just started shouting at me. What are you doing, you stupid girl? What do you think you're doing? We need that stuff for a proper running of the ship. And I felt myself kind of shrinking in, but I could hear the heartbeat, and that heartbeat became my heartbeat. And I stood up to him and I said, but it's not working right. James Hammond. Okay. I'm going to note that down. The prior engineer.
I do too. I'm almost wishing it was Richard Hammond because then the guy from
I
Top
was
Gear.
thinking the same thing.
Well, okay, so he's
That
Richard
explains
Hammond.
why it crashed.
and why he yelled at you. They always called Richard Hammond.
Dice roll are for
Yeah.
inspiration. His name is Richard Hammond.
They referred to him in the show as the angriest little man in the world. So
Monster.
yes, they also abandoned him on top of a mountain for 2 days. So, but
And
anyway,
it is loud and it is noisy in here. And I go over and I start digging through the tools and I pull some stuff out and I kind of duck back in the back where he can't get to me because I'm smaller than he is. And I start working on it. And a couple of hours later, it's so much quieter. It's not all clanky and angry and hurty in here. It's just smooth.
he learned how to turn the
Except
brake.
for that yelling. Except for that twit yelling over there still.
Yes, right. Yeah. So take +1 momentum to that. And what are you doing? Are you going to start repairs or what's the plan?
I
Or no, wait,
don't
hang on.
have
Sorry,
what I need.
I gotta stop you because we're doing begin a session, so we got to stop there, right?
Okay.
With the flashback. Then let's do flashbacks all the way around, and then we'll just do the same order. Does that work?
We
Everybody?
have kind of I mean, Kevin, you're not in charge and running things, but we have kind of nominated you as our rule keeper.
I got the book in front. This is the only way I am ever going to follow the rules as written. So I kind of appreciate this. If I'm in charge of the rules, then I'm okay. All right, so
And we are free to disregard them as we choose.
we wish. Yes. Oh, I did one of my favorite things every other day. My brain made a scene. I blurted it out, and then I said no, and I took it back, and I had the player make the scene, and it was way better. So
And now it's your turn, then, Dr. Bill.
okay, that makes sense. Flashback, yeah. For context, catatonic is the word. Bill is utterly non-responsive to the world around him. In his head, the flashback is real simple. He watches his hand go out to hit that button, and he do that dream thing where it's like no, bang, no, bang, over and over and over again. He can't stop, and then
But slightly different each time.
yeah, he gets closer. He gets almost out of the way. His elbow hits it. He falls forward. His head. He just no matter what he does, it keeps happening, and he keeps seeing the door open through that little tiny window, and the people getting spaced. And it reminds him, in a weird way, of how he got here and how this whole trip happened. The joke was they gave him the ship to get rid of him, except it wasn't a joke. He realizes that spacing those people was horrible, nasty, but it wasn't intentional. He's done worse things on purpose just to get this mission on the go. And that click moment of the things I've done to get here are not worth what just happened. And in that click moment, it's a horrible moment, but it gives him literally the momentum to move, to start doing something and not just sit here clicking his visor. And that's where I'll leave that for now. We're just handing them off. Dr. James. I take my one. I take my one momentum and I move on. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what that's called. it's that like first. It's like when you first finish school, but you're trying to like kind of get into like it's
Resident
the on hands training for
Intern?
medical
residency?
general residency
Yeah.
thing.
Residency, yeah.
I've been fighting with that word for the past like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh god, cannot remember
Words are hard.
because that's
This is
but
why this is why four
just
brains is better than one. Excuse me.
this feels very much like his what stands out from really his first week of residency. So it's the you know what you know, but now here's life.
Yeah.
Like textbooks are fine, you see the studies, you see, the results, but this is, hey, their life is literally in your hands.
Yes. So did you have a moment maybe during that where you turned around and the tool you need wasn't there? Because I'm trying to tie it to your current moment, right? Because you had
Oh,
you had that revelation last week, right?
No, tool wasn't there. So it's kind of what he's doing is seeing Bill kind of with the visor. He goes over, kind of takes stock of kind of the room again. The one that he sees is like completely destroyed. It kind of reminds him of time back, way back during residency. He was dealing with somebody that's like, cool. I know physically what's wrong with them. Okay, for example, it's like a construction worker blow to the head, something like that. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I know what's wrong, but I don't have tools to fix it.
Yep.
So he's kind of going back and forth, and even kind of remembering the moment he's kind of we're running around the room, kind of opening even what feels like every single cabinet, drawer, everything to kind of find something. And what it ends up kind of breaking the situation that he really remembers is it wasn't him, but it was rather a nurse that came in from behind that he didn't even notice. He turns around and sees her, just him or her, whatever it might have been at the time, but really remembers is sitting, kind of kneeling at their bedside, just talking to them and kind of seeing the light slowly come back to them.
Yeah.
Reminding him was like, yes, you may have all of the tools, you may have all the information, but in the end of the day, it's some things need to be a decision. That it needs to just be to talk.
Yeah. I love it. So you've all that training as a doctor. Hang on, maybe I just need to sit here and hold his hand. Right? I love it. That's definitely worth a momentum. Scooter. First, I got a question. Is Scooter in his happy place? You're on the bridge the backup bridge all by yourself.
Honestly, Scooter's at Spirit 5.
Yep.
So out of everybody, he's actually still in pretty good mental shape. His problem's mostly dealing with the fact that he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yes.
So
A whole lot of buttons. Especially
lot of buttons.
on the backup bridge, right? It's probably not as automated as the main bridge, right?
Not as automated.
This requires some
everything's
math.
Everything's in a different location. Like that button's not supposed to do that.
Scooter learned to cheat by patterns. Beep boop boop beep boop, and then he doesn't know what they do. He just knows.
Yep. So now he's trying to figure that out, and the big problem is he can't get to his quarters, where his Drift for Dummies book happens to be.
Right. Or hopefully still is. Hopefully your quarters are still there.
Hopefully I still have a bunk.
Yeah.
So
what's the flashback?
The flashback is a similar situation where he was thrust out of his element and had to improvise on the go. It was a classic valet scam. You dress up real nice, wait till everybody's busy, stand at the booth and steal someone's car. Easy. Done it a dozen times before.
Yep.
Problem is, this guy had one of them fancy cars. And one of them fancy cars that talks to his phone. And so he turned off the damn car while I was driving out of the parking lot. He watched me do it. So what I did is looking around, I didn't understand this car. I didn't know what was going on. press a couple buttons. All of a sudden, I'm at the optional features tab. And one of them said remote connection. So I turned that off, turned the car back on, and we was aces. So really he's looking for like um
the menu. He's looking for the drop down menu. Fly ship.
He's backing out of folders. He's closing applications that are running just, because it's, something for the bridge. Well, the bridge is currently not usable. So,
Yeah.
Let's turn the Freon off. I understand what Freon means.
Yeah. You saw what it did. There's none left up there anyway. You might as well turn that off. That's empty.
Yeah.
That killed everybody up there.
Yeah. Well, them circuits is plenty cool now. And yeah, he's just hammered and beeping, and he's kind of, I wouldn't say he's in his happy place, because his happy place would be on a casino on a planet that doesn't get any warmer than about 25.
Yeah.
But he is kind of establishing himself.
Yep.
And using like the afterbridge is kind of like his place. He's staked it. He's a lot more himself. He's got the comb. He's combed his hair at this point. He's had time.
So you're sitting in there, and yeah, you feel like you got this. So you for sure take one momentum there. That makes sense. Now let's do our first moves each. I think. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we gotta get started. So
yes,
we're looking at Scooter in the backup bridge.
Yeah, so that was our beginner session. So yeah, let's do. Okay, perfect. Let's do it in reverse order then. Scooter, what are you doing to move the situation forward?
Well, after a few couple of beeps and boops, and looking for title menus and stuff like that, I found out that the engines currently aren't working. So we ain't going anywhere, which is great because I don't know how to get it going. However, senses tend to be a little easier to figure out. I mean, it's a screen. It tells you what's out there, and you press buttons, and it tells you what specifics, right? So that's what he's going to do. He is going to basically hit a sensor sweep and try to get a bearing on.
So gather information, right?
Gather information, yeah. So
roll. Do we actually need a roll on that? Because we know what we want to see the first time.
I'd like to see the roll just to see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It also may tell us if we have another problem.
Yes, that's also possible. Yeah.
Well, those are dice.
Because we're not just going to want to do stuff, each of us individually. We're going to want to start getting into more interactions too.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta go wake up somebody to have an interaction.
I will just.
We're getting there.
Actually, above table. By the time you run into your office, your medical place, clinic. No, that's still not the right word. Bay. Med bay. That's the word. Yeah. By the time you run in there and run back out, Bill's gonna be gone. But
okay, so
I'm gonna have to do some tracking rolls. Thanks, Bill.
So I add my wits to this, right?
For gather information, you can just if you just hit the little. Oh, you're not using the thing. So yeah. It is.
Actually, no, I'm just gonna press the button because I don't actually remember how the rolls go. So there's that. Oh, I missed.
Full blow. Okay. Well, you didn't stand a chance. Your challenge dice were a 10 and an 8. So that's perfect because they don't work.
But you look out the window and
he looks out the window to try and find the sensor array. So that's where it's supposed to be. There's a big scratch there. I'm gonna assume it's back that way a bit. We're not turning around to get it. So what do my eyeballs see? That's an Oracle?
Yep. And that would be I think it's gather information again. Just you're looking out the window. You're looking for stuff, right?
Oh, I thought there was an actual move for it,
Don't
or an oracle.
It should be an oracle, actually.
Yeah.
make a discovery.
What are you trying? I know we had some conversations before the game. What is
Yeah.
it you're trying to accomplish right now?
Yes.
Are you finding our contact at this moment, or
Um.
are you seeing them coming, or is a complete blank screen okay for right now?
Honestly, I was just. It really depends on what I think he sees, because we were gonna say we were talking about the contact first. So.
Yeah.
There's an initial contact under the starships.
You're also right next to where the shuttle comes and goes. So if there was a ship, they'd probably be very close to where you are if they're trying to dock.
Hmm.
Just gonna hit this and see what comes up here first.
Oh,
First
all
look at
right.
initial contact. So imposing and hostile is the two descriptors we got. You look outside
Okay.
and you see a ship coming towards us that is both imposing and actively hostile.
I mean,
We're going to
It
create a
assumes that all
person. We are going to create, and this is our contact. This, by the way, the person
Yeah.
in this ship is the person that we're going to be able to take advantage of later in the game to get pluses on our rolls and stuff. So, but they're
man.
coming at us like charging the phasers, turning
Yeah,
up the shields,
I think.
and we're in a ship that can hardly breathe. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooter sees like a bunch of like harpoons and like grasping claws and stuff. He sees a scrapper ship, but he's never seen a scrapper ship before.
Yeah.
So he
But you can tell because it looks like it looks like Han Solo's ship. It's just all bits and pieces.
yeah,
It's like no two bits match. Yeah.
nothing matches. Like
Yeah.
he actually sees half of one logo and half of another logo on two separate on two
Yeah.
plates.
Yep.
on
That
the
have been
ship.
weld together.
Yeah, he heads over to the intercom and it's like, I hope y'all got your dancing shoes on because we got some guests and they don't look too nice.
That seems like the perfect spot to cut to. We were doing it in reverse order. Dr. J, you're in your medical bay. I can't help myself. I saw that and it's not your Dr. J. He's Scoots.
You're good.
I'm having a real hard time here, not calling everybody a nickname.
Maybe that's part of Bill's character.
Maybe it is. But yes. So Dr. James.
Looking around, realizing that there's nothing, he's going to turn back around to go to the storage area where Bill was left.
Yep.
And if I recall, there was nothing there.
Yeah. Bill's gone.
So Bill is up and left.
Yep.
You're not wrong, James. You're really not wrong. But I don't want to go there in session 2, all right? So he's going to go. He's concerned for Bill's safety, considering where he was, and now he's not there, that he's about to do something exceptionally stupid.
Excellent.
Because he has no reason to think that Bill's has kind of gotten his
Yeah.
spirit up and going again.
Yeah.
He's in the, hey, he's desolate.
Bill was in
Nobody
a
was there when he
bad
woke
place
up.
and now he's missing. Yeah.
Now he's missing.
Yeah.
So if there's an airlock, that's probably where he's going to check first.
Uh-huh.
He's going to make sure Bill's not going to send himself off an airlock.
Yep. So that would be you said is there a tracking one? Exploration would explore a waypoint? No, that's not
It's not.
it. We can go with good old gather information or maybe secure an advantage. Because you said you're going to the nearest airlock if you think he spaced himself.
Or going to space himself.
Yeah. Let's click.
There's so many of these. They're good at what they do, but I'm trying. Remind me asking what heading it's under.
I was looking at secure an advantage, which is under
Adventure moves.
adventure moves, and the one I'm thinking of is with expertise,
out
focus,
why I-
or observation is the one I'm thinking of.
I was under oracles, not moves.
Yes. Oh,
That
yes.
explains
I've
why I
done
haven't been able
that.
to find anything.
I have done that
Oh,
so many
God.
times. So many times. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm thinking with observation, right? Because you're just tracking me. So I would say secure an advantage, which is roll wits. If you do secure an advantage, and then when it asks, roll with your wits.
Okay. It's either be. Okay, so I'm trying to secure an advantage to find him rather than trying to find him directly. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because then your next move, this will give you momentum, possibly, to find me.
Okay. So he goes, takes a look left, looks left, right. Okay. Anything else that's been moved. Suit's not there, which is good. It's gonna be with wits. I just don't remember if he's good at wits. No modifier. I don't know. I wouldn't get any modifiers for this. Thanks, mate. Thanks. I was not making that.
You are rolling, and we're
Wow.
rolling the
You're
challenge
rolling.
dice
I rolled
high.
fine.
You rolled a
but
9
our
and a 10.
challenge
Wow.
dice hate us tonight.
Jeez.
Okay.
The
So
challenge dice.
on a
yeah.
My
miss-
assumptions betray me.
yes, pay the price.
So
So and your assumption was he went to the airlock. So you run to the airlock and
the airlock's empty.
But-
So I assume he's vented himself.
well, let's go. Let's actually go to pay the price because that's a move, right?
I mean,
Just hit the button and see what it says.
we can see what it says. I'm definitely leaning towards
suffer.
endure stress, by the way. Paid a price.
It specifically says roll pay the price. Fate moves, final column on the right hand side. All the way down at the bottom.
Pay the price. Pay it.
You are delayed or put at a disadvantage. So you get to the airlock, you open it up, Bill's not there. How are you stuck here?
Takes time to repressurize.
How am I delayed? I mean, realistically, I ran into an airlock to look at an airlock.
When it recycles, it takes forever, maybe? Like there's a small leak somewhere, so it's taking time to get you back in?
I mean, if it's taking time to get back in, James never threw on an environmental suit.
No.
Because he's focused first on Bill. So it's
Okay,
like,
well
oh,
in that case you wouldn't have gone into the decompression area. I know. It says
stops.
it
He
says
starts
you're
putting
misled.
on I was gonna say he stops. He gets there. He puts on a decompression suit like he's about to go outside. Gets in there, realizes that Bill wasn't ever in here, and now he has to wait for the recycle, and then take the stupid suit off.
That's one option. The other thing I was thinking of is you went up, looked in the doors, and went, he's not in here. And because it says misled you, you just go bolting off to another part of the ship looking for the next airlock instead of actually looking for Bill. Either one of those works, right?
Yep, sure. I'm going for another airlock. Honestly, I'm probably gonna go. Did I ever find out that a bunch of people got disappeared out the back?
I was trying to remember if we said anything about that when I handed
I think
Dr.
it was
Bill
just
off to you.
here's Bill. So I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna go take a look where all the people are supposed to have gone next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Because that would be a delaying thing. You run. Oh, maybe he went out the big airlock at the back, and you get there, and it's like the doors open.
Well,
and,
man, I
and
see
you see the
like,
muster station with no people at it. And
nobody's there, and I see a massive ship trying to like rip into the back of our ship.
oh, nice. So yeah, you see it
That's
as well.
also there.
Just as Scooter yells, so that gets the two of you to the same point in time, right?
Yes.
So you've lost Bill, and there's a big giant ship. Scooter's trying to figure out how to fly the ship, and there's a big giant ship. Dr. Bill. Is this? I like this because then we're gonna save Raven for last while you're in the guts of the ship.
Okay.
Because yeah, we end with her buried in her ship, fixing hers and having to come back and deal with the people things after. Because what Bill
There's
did.
a reason I have a splat emote.
Bill crawled, scratched, climbed, whatever it took to get back to his room, and it is there, and his stuff is still there. Where is it? and he grabs his metronome, his one thing that he was allowed to bring with him, and he puts it on the table and pulls it to the side and lets it go, and it's tick, 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 tick. And the weight on the metronome is a little piece of iron. It's not like the little, the little weight that's normally on there. It's an actual little block of iron. And he just watches it, just watches it, just watches it, just watches it for a while. And then he starts to mutter under his voice, I need to make up for this. 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 And he heartens, which is where is
Recover move.
Recover move, way up there.
In the middle.
So the way it's written, it says when you socialize, share intimacy, or find a moment of peace, roll plus heart. So that's definitely what he's doing. No modifiers. A weak hit, that's enough. Oh, it was so close. It was a 7. One more, it would have been a strong hit. That's all right. On a weak hit,
you take 2
oh,
spirit.
no, this is perfect. Yeah, I get 2 spirit. I should have read this out loud. And on a weak hit, I get the 2 spirit, but it's short-lived. So as he grabs the iron bead to stop the metronome, that's the word, he feels his spirit come back to him a little bit. That gives him 2. I'll do that now. But at that same moment, he takes a breath in, and I'm going to make an iron vow now. But then then he's going to hear the announcement of the ship, and that's going to cause them to lose the 1 point of momentum. So I'm going to lose the momentum now. Go back to 4 because that was what I did on the weak hit. But then at that moment, he reaches up, grabs it, and I swear an iron vow. I missed an iron vow.
What does that do? I need to find out what does that even mean?
That's
bad.
You
I didn't even
must
think that was.
overcome a significant obstacle before you begin your quest. Envision what stands in your way.
Oh, I know exactly how to fix this. Yes, and I'm gonna kind of cheat and fix it right now. He grabs it and he says the oath, which is, "I will make up for everything I've done," and it just won't stick because that's not what he needs to do. And he stops and he lets it go, and the metronome moves by itself again. And he grabs it again, and he says, I will earn my forgiveness for what I have done. And I'm going to do hope this one works because I'm running out of ideas. A weak hit. That's enough. You're determined, but begin your quest with more questions than answers. Take 1 momentum and envision what you did to find a path forward. So go back up to 5. And what he needs to do is he needs to make sure that they're never forgotten. So he knows we're in new space. So naming planets, naming solar systems, getting hold of their families when we get back, making sure people are taken care of. He has to earn his own forgiveness by acts of contrition. There it is. That's the phrase. And I already wrote the iron vow in my thing. So that, and then at that moment, as I gain that 1, then I hear the klaxon come on and Scooter say, we got company. So I lose the 1 from the shock. Whew, that was a lot of stuff. Raven.
So, quick recap for Fox here. All right, so we were heading off on a scientific mission, and something happened while we were in transit, and we came out days early, and the ship, there was something badly wrong with the ship. I mean, it was catastrophically wrong with the ship. And we managed to burst the freon in the bridge, which basically killed all the bridge crew. We had damage going everywhere. We lost the gravity. We lost the stuff. We were trying to find our way around.
A cook got deep fried.
yeah, and Scooter, who's our remaining pilot, he managed to get back to the aft bridge, and he at least got the gravity
Gravity.
turned back on. I'm the engineer, and I went for the edge, and it's like, and I discovered I don't have the parts I need, and I went to look for the parts, and I got to where the shuttle bay where the parts were supposed to be, only to discover that it had been spaced along with all of the parts I need, along with that was the gathering place for the remaining people on the ship. And Dr. Bill here was, yeah, standing there shocked because he had just accidentally um, spaced everything. So I got him back to the doctor, Dr. James. He's right below me on the screen. And I managed to get back, and it's like, okay, I don't have the parts I need, but at least I don't have to try and fix that person. I handed him off to the doctor. The doctor will fix that person. I'm here, and it's like, okay, this is a mess. This is a mess. And I hear over the intercom that we've got company. Scooter, what do you mean we've got company?
Sounds like there's somebody trying to get to the cargo bay. Like, I don't know, raiders or something. It looked like a big old crab in space.
Um, how much time do we have?
Uh, Minutes maybe? This thing's slow as hell.
Um, yeah. Um, I'll see what options I can give you. Um, oh boy. This isn't gonna be pretty. And I go diving in and I start tracking things down and I stop and I listen and I trace things down and I listen. It's like, okay, I don't have parts, but what do we have? What can we do? And I don't know what we can do. So I am going to go ahead and roll and find out, okay, what options do I find as I'm looking for this for what we can do?
Yep.
Which is going to be under um
Would that be repair or resupply in recover?
um
Repair is repair the ship. Resupply, we are down to 3 supply. So scavenging ourselves.
yeah, but I need to uh
I mean,
no, because
one
I'm gonna see what do I have right here right now. I don't have time for
For
that.
that. So yeah.
you
So
could
I want
So
to
maybe just repair. I can see not having time to
I
do resupply
oddly enough I want to test my relationship
with the ship.
ship.
with the ship
I love it.
because of the nature of the way Raven interacts with the ship. I think testing my relationship. So when this would normally be with an NPC, with a person. When your relationship with a connection is tested through conflict, betrayal, or circumstance, roll plus heart, and if you share a bond, add +1. The Doom soundtrack is Star Wars. Just love it. Okay. So I am going to do that, and I think I do share a bond with the ship. That's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
the very nature of a bond. So I am going to test my relationship. If I share a bond, add 1. And what are my um I forgot what my assets are. Um I think I'm also going to add a 1 for my gearhead.
Yes. Absolutely. So yeah. So
When I make a
plus.
move to craft, repair, repurpose, or modify equipment or technology, add +1 and take 1 +1 momentum on a hit. So I'm going to have a +2.
Yeah. Finally, modifiers.
Ah,
I am
Oh,
absolutely going to burn
for the first
momentum
time,
on
somebody's going to
this
burn momentum. Yes.
because I have 9 and I've been thinking I need to burn momentum. All
Yeah.
right. So how do I actually do that?
So,
there's a
uh,
button.
Burn. There's a burn button. Oh, it took me back down, and
It
when I
takes you
hit the
back
burn
down to
button, it
2.
took me back down to +2.
Yeah, which is your
Okay.
default start. So yeah.
So I burned momentum to get a strong hit. So I can't, I might be able to give him a little bit of maneuverability. I can, it's like, okay, so I've got some options. Okay, Scooter, we can either, I've got a couple of robots I can sort of repurpose to kind of sabotage them if they try to enter. I can give you a little bit of power to the shields if you want to try it that way, or I can give you a little bit of maneuverability. We won't be able to jump, but you can use the directional jets. I don't know that I can do all of them, but I can do that. So, what do you want? What can I do?
Scooter's thinking, he's like, well, if we throw them shields up, they might think we're a little bit we're a little bit more okay than we actually are, and it won't let them in the cargo bay.
I can power up the weapons. That I might be able to. That one would take another roll. It's like that would take an electrical thing. I might be able to get you some weapons. But yeah, we can move a little bit and try and move out from under them.
I like the idea of just the little mass boosters, right? The ones.
Retros.
Yeah.
Instead
the
of
literal
nudging
chemical.
them together, nudging them apart.
Yeah.
Goes to grab it, it moves. Hey. Hey. Yeah, anything to get us moving, little bird.
So you're gonna do
Okay.
the maneuver jets,
So
yeah.
we're gonna do maneuver jets.
Okay.
And I bought the strong hit with my momentum, so it's
Yes.
gonna work just fine.
Yes, it is. Yep. So
And
you
technically, that also improves your bond.
Oh, actually it
ship.
does.
especially with a strong hit. Yeah.
On a strong
You hit
hit,
the
develop your relationship.
its own move.
Okay, let's see. If you already share a bond to the connection, do not mark progress. Instead, roll plus their rank to learn the impact on your legacy. On a strong hit, okay. So on a strong hit, mark. Okay, so I need to do that. Roll
ticks on
plus
your
their rank.
bonds.
Roll what plus their rank?
Roll develop your relationship that looks like it's a table in and of itself.
But it doesn't have a die.
Is it under connections?
It's the rank.
Roll
Whatever
plus
the
their rank, the ship's rank. And that's again, it's normally about people, so troublesome, dangerous, formidable, extreme, epic. I think it's fair to say that you've got at least an extreme relationship with this ship. Like at least a 4 out of 5. You're damn near simpatico with it, right?
And this is Fortune's favor.
Yes. So that means you would roll plus 4.
Okay.
And on a strong hit, and what develops out of this is your legacy tracks, which we were talking about before the game. There's 3 of them, and that's how you earn experience.
Okay,
So if we do it in order, if you roll plus 4 and see what you get.
Roll what plus 4? A d6?
Yeah, do your standard roll. Yeah, so d6
Well,
plus
yeah.
4.
What's a standard roll, and then how do I get the
I see what you
challenge
mean.
dice? What am I rolling?
Oh, roll.
There's a roll. Oh, there's not. I was going to say there's a roll on the.
Admittedly, one of us could just roll 2d10.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we do that?
Because you can just make a connection and add your modifier of 4 to that, right? I think that'll work. I'm just doing a test over here to see if it's going to work. And that's, I got a strong hit with a match. So that's what I would suggest is do a...
roll to make a connection. Okay.
Yeah, it's any roll, but add 4. Your modifier is add 4, right?
Okay. That was under moves, connection moves, make a connection.
Yeah, the
modifiers 4.
The ship and Raven actually have conversations.
And I got strong hit with a match.
Well.
All right, so that
perfect.
was
Wow. So strong hit with a match. You get 2 ticks on your legacy track. So go to the legacy tab
Oh, and
and
raise the rank by
bonds.
1. So I
Click it
marked 2
twice. Yeah.
ticks.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Which
mark
is
2
half a box.
ticks.
So you're already halfway to an experience point.
Mark. Oh, wait, wrong one. Because that was with there. Okay, so mark twice,
Yep.
and then up it to epic.
Yes.
All right. So this is the first time the favor and I have actually had to work in concert together, and oh, I see how I got confused because my bond with Scooter, the location is Fortune's favor. So I'm saying here looking at Fortune's favor twice, going, wait, what?
Yes. Yeah.
So location on one and the name on the other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this is the first time we've had to work together, and this is the first time that Raven has asked something of the ship, of the
Yes.
favor.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, okay, girl, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
And the ship thinks about it, and the ship goes, okay, and shimmies over.
Yep. A favor for the favor. Yes. A favor for the brave. This seems like a good time to really briefly talk about the legacies. There's 3 tracks in there that we track just like every other thing that happens in this game. They are they're keeping track of your not specifically the vows you've made, but quests that you're on, bonds that you have, and discoveries that you've made. So in this instance, your bonds track would have been clicked twice, which is half a box. Every time you fill up a box, you get 2 experience points that you can spend to increase your assets or your traits.
So wait, but I did that at I did that on the connections tab. So what am I doing on the legacies tab?
The legacies tab is it's like a more generalized version. It's about bonds in general, not
Hmm.
specific bonds that you've had. So every time you increase any of your bonds, you change that bond, and then you come here and click this.
Okay, and so I
Oh.
mark it twice.
Yes, and I was going to say
Okay.
I think this is the end of a lap. Once everybody gets to the same spot, I want to stop and go through this because we've all developed bonds with each other since this started, right?
I was gonna say, technically, Raven is at a full box because her and I developed our bond in the
Last
first
time.
episode.
So yeah, that
Yeah,
would
no,
be two
last
clicks.
episode.
So that means when you hit that button 4 times, you're going to fill that box, and 2 little buttons below are clickable, and those are 2 experience points that you have that you can spend,
Oh, so when I spend them, I click them, and that marks that it's been
and it
spent.
clicks them. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And moves. If you go back to moves, where is it?
If you Kevin, if you have Raven's sheet open, if you move it over above the roles, the
Yeah.
chat thing, the viewers can see it.
Oh, oh, that's interesting because I've got my character on a completely different page. That's weird, and it's a popped out character. That's very odd. And I don't have
Yeah,
your
but if
character
you
sheet open. That's-
no, but you can open my character sheet,
Yes.
and you should be able to if you move it
Oh,
over
I see. To show
because
people.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
If you move it over, I mean, it only goes to a certain amount, and you can only see the right hand
There's
side. But
there's legacy moves. So because you have earned,
okay,
because we said 2, so legacy moves. If you earn experience, you may when you fill a box 4 ticks, you take 2 experience. This can be spent when you advance, and that's the move is advance.
okay.
So go back one and advance is the next one down. When you develop your abilities, improve your resources, gain a reward, or boost your influence, you may spend 3 experience points to add a new asset, or 2 to upgrade an asset. So you got 2, but it can only do one thing, right? Choose from the following categories as appropriate to your focus and opportunities. You
Yeah.
can upgrade modules, vehicles, paths, companions, or deeds. So, yeah. So that's how that works.
Okay.
And I think you're the first
I
person
won't
to
remember that.
actually Yeah. Well, it's right there. You can actually do it right now. You can spend, if you want, you could spend 2 experience points to upgrade an asset. So pick one of your assets and click another box because they've all got 3, and we started with 1. You can only do one of the 3 things, right?
So it takes 2 to. Okay.
Yeah. So it takes 3 to buy a new asset card, or 2 to add an ability to a card you've already got.
Okay. So if I take Gearhead,
Yep.
it's when you gather information by studying or disassembling a machine or device, re-roll any dice. On a match, you reveal an unexpected function, capability, or danger. Mark 1 tick on your Discovery's legacy track.
Exactly.
So
So
that is so the next time I gather information about the ship functions,
yes.
the mechanical functions, not the
Yes.
electrical functions, because the electrical functions is tech.
Yeah. So this is something we
Okay.
all have to keep in mind. The things you're doing in other tabs are very specific. This tab is much more general, but like most things in this game, it will tell you when to come here and do something. Like
Okay.
both of those did. Both of the things that you've done so far, it told you to come here and click this twice, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you can add.
Do I also take do I also take momentum with this? No, the weak hit takes momentum.
Yeah. Strong hit, you get big stuff instead.
Get big stuff instead. Okay.
All right.
So I'm still at 2 momentum.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Okay. So it's like I have given Scooter options for what the ship can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to turn it over to Scooter.
Scooter doesn't exactly have the best view where he's at. He has a general, the close range radar,
Yep.
which in my head looks like a fish finder.
Yep. Yep.
And
Except
once
it goes in 3 dimensions. Boom.
yeah, and so once he realizes that he's got a little bit of more oomph in the retrojets, he's like, okay, I know how to do this. This is easy. He kind of not kind of he tries to spin the fortune's favor down and away from, I'm calling it the crab, and um I don't know if
We
we
could.
have external comms. I was gonna
I
try
was just
to.
gonna say this. I just rolled the next step in the character creation or the NPC creation process, which is their
Mhm.
role, and I got diplomat.
So we're
So
hostile diplomat.
their guns, their guns pointed at you, shields up, and then in my head we hear over not even proper radio, but the sort of like vibration thing, like it's like shaking the whole ship to make it speak. Um, my thought would be we now get a message from a very well armed diplomat. That's my introduction. What do they say? Oh, actually, the next thing on the list. What is their goal? They want to rebel against local power. So what do they say? They just met us. They were coming here to scavenge our ship. They were going to shoot the shit out of us a second ago. But then when they open channels, tell us, you're having a conversation, Scooter, tell us. What?
First thing that pops into
How
my
does he
head
tell you that
is
he's a diplomat and that he wants to blow up the local powers?
first thing that pops into my head is greetings, comrade. Would you like to join the revolution?
and if you
Scooter's
don't, we're
response
gonna
is,
shoot at you.
"What the hell?"
And the reveal he's and then finishes it
Oh, it's
with
a
because
doomed
we're all
rebellion.
doomed anyway. this, this is why you roll. This right here. This is why you roll. This is our contact. This
So
is the person.
we have a depressed communist.
Yes.
Are you building that into the connections tab for the ship?
At this point, I'm writing it down on a piece of paper.
Okay.
But yes, if someone could, that would be great. The roles are all there. So they were imposing, hostile, an imposing, hostile diplomat rebelling against power who's doomed.
What is their
And
name?
the name, the final role. Dun, da, da, da.
Oh, there's 2 roles. So one person roll first name, one person roll
Okay,
last
I
name.
got given name.
Oracle.
Isaac?
Uh,
Typical Russian name. I am
Yeah.
Isaac.
All
I
right,
had it 2
connections.
seconds ago.
It's oracles, characters, last box. There's character creation and then characters. And if anybody who's listening is wondering why this is all here, is because this game is also designed for solo
Oh.
play.
Aha.
So you can do this all by your own self and have the oracles in the game, which are they're tables, they're rollable tables, and you can have them tell you
We found it.
everything you can
Oh.
possibly imagine.
Isaac Shin.
Isaac Shin.
Isaac Shin.
Okay, so Scooter, you're the only one with access to outside communications.
It's like I don't know about no revolution there, sir, but if you're willing to help us get this ship or get our ship under or back under her own power, I'm sure we'd be mighty appreciative.
How did they respond to that? I'm tempted to play them, but I don't want to be. I don't
Go
want to do
ahead
it.
and play them. No, we need somebody to play the NPC. Go ahead.
I mean, here's
Yeah.
the question.
Yeah.
What is my demeanor? Like, okay, yes, we're doomed, but it's going to take resources. Like, what do you have to provide?
Okay.
I can roll that in.
You hear back, Scooter. You hear. We were actually coming here to take pieces of your ship. We thought you were all dead. We're sorry very much for pointing all the guns at you. Sometimes, space is bad. It's So about that revolution, could we just pretend we didn't say that? I've been drinking.
What do you
Are
say,
you gonna-
Scooter?
I don't know.
Are you gonna invite them on board, or what is our?
No.
I'll give you this too, because I think at this point, because it's anxious, I think he'd start shutting down weapon systems. Shields are still up, but you can see the lasers started powering down. Yeah.
It's just the little crab antenna goes sad. Go down. There's sad crab antenna now. Oh,
Sad
no.
crabs. And of course it's a red crab because that
Yes.
goose is cooked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Space
because
rust.
he thinks he's cooked.
Yeah.
Because he's doomed. I would say Scooter's like he's still angling to try and get some help with repairs. It's like maybe we'd be able to help you with this revolution of yours. I don't know. We're not much. Hello.
You have a visitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not exactly in a position to be, choosy. This ship is floating free, and you're the first face we've seen.
I am sure that there are some bits and pieces that you do not need, that you can trade for some bits and pieces that you do need. This is how we are doing business. And now that he's doing business, he's back in the flow.
Yeah,
You tell he hasn't talked to very many people, and I give you for free. This is where you realize he's by himself on that ship.
What we do is
Because we only get one contact, right? I'm not giving us a whole ship, right? We got
all by
one
himself.
crazy Russian. That's what we got.
Oh, the one-man revolution. Jesus, we invent all our things on.
No, just all our people. But never mind.
Hey, and my supplies, my tools. Thank you very much.
And we broke the medical bay, and it was all just me. So, but yeah, but Scooter, how are you reacting to him?
It's like, well, sir, I'm sure we can see what we've got. If you've got a shuttle, we definitely got extra space.
I could come in through that big hole in the front.
Or the actual hole in the back where the cargo bay is supposed to be.
And there's a little pause. You mean the one that is hanging open to space? You should close your doors,
Honestly, sir, we're working on that.
And as you speak, I finally get that thing connected up and the door's closed.
Yeah.
See, everything is under control.
So, What does somebody other than me? What does the shuttle look like when the crab shuts down and the little doors open? What shuttlecraft comes out to come and see us?
Medkip, you want that one?
Man, okay, here's the funny thing. I know what this shuttle looks like.
Excellent.
Okay. So, the shuttle, the first thing you see are two. They're definitely lights,
Mhm.
which are more like fog lights, but you notice that they're kind of on like rounded appendages.
Mm-hmm.
So that, if you were in the shuttle, you could, point them up, down, left, right.
Yep.
That kind of terminates to more like just an elongated hull.
Mhm.
And then the back. So the landing gear are on, actuating kind of armatures. I'm trying to figure out how to describe a lobster without calling it a lobster, by the
Yep.
way. If anybody
Okay.
wants to, chime in,
Yep.
help me out.
No,
So the thing is,
it looks like a
bright red.
mechanical lobster. Yes. What else would come out of a
And
giant crab?
the tail, where you would kind of put your, exocraft, should we have any, or picks them up.
Yep.
The tail kind of curls up, and they just kind of go in the back, and the tail goes back down.
Uh-huh.
Which also means, interestingly, it's perfectly suited for a water landing.
Yep. Yep. An amphibious spaceship. And so the lobster comes across space from the crab and into and then now you have to open the doors again, Raven, so they can come in and then close the doors behind them.
I was just about to go into the bay too when I
Yep.
see it close for a second,
Oh,
and then start opening again. It's like,
that's
oh
basically
my
where you
gosh.
were, right? Yeah. So yeah, you were
Yes,
just
I was
about to go
trying
in
to
there.
get
You
into
damn
the
near
hull.
died, just right there. You damn near died.
Yeah.
That's how close. Oh, I love it. We're
But
gonna
it's
have
just
to
annoying
fix
that
Oh,
it
that
just closed
sorry.
and now it's opening
because
again.
the safety systems were
I'll
screwed up
undo
in the
that.
crash, obviously, right? So yeah. So they're in the bay now. So that was a while with Scooter and Raven. It's been a while since we've heard from Dr. James.
These doors.
Between we got visitors and the dude's coming. What did you do?
I mean, if I'm still waiting for the doors, I'm still kind of looking around for Bill.
Oh yeah, I
Because,
love that. You're still just sort of Oh,
I mean, if
you
I
find
can't
me.
get into there, he probably didn't get into there.
Yeah.
So we're going to still do some running around.
So you
So at this point, I think it's going to take a moment.
mhm.
Go to kind of. He's probably going to go to either the Bill's quarters, because he figures, okay, if somebody's in extremis, they're going to go somewhere they would consider home.
Yep. I think that's perfectly reasonable and doesn't require a roll. If he didn't space himself, he's in his room, right? Where else would he be, right? So,
Okay, so he's
yeah.
going to head over. Are
So
there
you-
still like dead, like the lockdown doors that we're still working on, or has that kind of resolved itself? Or is it no longer really an issue? We
Well,
just have figured it out.
we know where atmosphere is, and we're able to
Okay.
move around. The bits of the ship that we've been
Yeah.
to so far are therefore connected. Anywhere
it's-
we haven't been, we don't know yet. So,
and it's not and it's not continuing to degrade.
yes.
So it's been safe to open those. Yeah.
Cool. So we kind of left stuff open that we know is safe.
Mhm.
So when you get to the hallway where Bill's room is, the door is open, and that only happens if you block it. So he's put something in the door to keep it open as he went in.
Okay. So what do I see when I walk into this room?
The
'Cause I
thing
don't think we've
holding
described Bill's room yet.
nope. The thing holding open the door is actually a small black garbage can that he's just turned sideways, so it just keeps the door from closing. Inside his room looks like a library exploded. He likes paper. He's got the computer on his wrist, but he likes his paper. But because he's not allowed to bring all the books because of weight, he's bought sections of books. So there's like a group of 10 pages and a group of 20 pages over here, and it's just chapters of books and all of it on they're perfectly useful shelves, space worthy shelves, but it's just hurled in there. Part of it somehow looks like he's been here longer than the ship exists. He's made this space himself. But then you see his back, still wearing the suit, but with the helmet off. He's taken off the helmet and put it on the table Bed's not slept in because we crashed since then. And he's just got his hand on the metronome. It looks like he's just stopped the metronome, and you wouldn't be able to see the iron because it's the beads inside. And as you actually, the timing's lovely. You walk in just as his shoulders droop, and he puts the metronome back on the table. The second attempt at the vow just stuck. Oh, and he's aware of your entry. You hear he doesn't turn around, but you see his head like that. He's aware of his surroundings.
Okay.
It's a
So
good sign.
would I register that he noticed me?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Because like I said, he put that down and then he did the. Wait a minute, I heard something. He hasn't turned
And
to look at you, but yeah, but you're looking for him, so yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Same.
But he's
Dr.
doing
Bill?
things. Yes. Yes. That is who I am. Dr. fucking Bills. And puts the metronome back in its little case in the drawer, closes the case and closes the drawer and turns around. Right, I have been exactly zero help so far. What can I do?
Well, seemingly we've both been about the equal amounts of help. I was in the mess hall when the chef did not, well, perished. And I was trying to get myself into the cargo bay where the people are, but the door was closed and then started opening again, and it's been a thing.
I understand we've got a visitor. Like, clearly deflecting from your conversation.
I saw them attempt to enter into the cargo bay, but then they changed their mind. I'm not sure what conversation has occurred between the captain and them, or even if a meeting's going to occur.
Well, I guess it can't hurt to go and have a look then.
Yeah, I don't think you guys know that the bridge crew's dead, do you?
No. I mean, wait, are we going to go to the bridge? Because we
no,
assume
no,
that.
no. Well, I don't know. Or...
I don't think we know if the bridge crew's dead or not. We're going to probably head there first.
You're the doc. Yeah, you're a doc.
I haven't told. Yeah, no.
No, nobody's told anybody anything, right?
He told no. Scooter told Raven, but he hasn't really talked to either of the doctors.
Raven is the keeper of everybody's dark secrets.
I
you know that Bill
I
spaced
didn't
everybody.
mention it.
You haven't mentioned nothing to anybody. So
I didn't mention it. No.
I love that idea. The doctors in their their natural leadership role as PhD and knowledgeable persons, we should just and head up towards the bridge. And we don't even get there because one whole hallway away a door won't open because that whole area has been
frozen shut.
Freon to the other side of the door is frozen.
Also, no atmosphere.
Yeah, so it's at that moment that we realize not only is the bridge gone, but we don't know where these two are. The people that belong to the ship, right?
I know Raven's fine. Yeah. I know you're fine, and that is all I know now.
And we don't know. Well, there's no reason why we're part of the expedition,
you heard
right?
Scooter's voice.
We know Scooter's alive, but we would have no idea where the backup bridge is. We're not allowed to go in that part of the ship, right? We wouldn't know about engineering. We're not allowed there.
You're not crew, you're cargo.
Exactly. Yeah. Until we get there, we're supercargo technically.
So would we go to communications next, thinking that's where?
Well, the ship's probably wired. So, Dr. James, do you look for? Because there's always going to be a panel with a button, right? It's just a Star Trek.
Intercom.
There's always an intercom, or do we just? I'm sure if it was just
intercoms
we know there is. We know it works too because we heard Scooter. So it's just
the intercom's functional.
Yeah. So I think at this point, to communicate with each other inside the ship, we're going to have to find one of these things and push a button. We can't just and talk yet.
There's probably one near the bridge.
It's not a bad sound, right?
The bridge.
But yeah, close, fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, there would be one right there. You hit the button. What do you say? He has. Oh, by the way, I just looked at chat. He has all the digital editions, but it's not the same.
I know.
It's also a comfort thing. If he had failed that role, you probably would have found him curled up in it like a big comfort blanket.
His book for it.
Yeah.
Those who like the feel of musty, dusty leather-bound goods.
It'd probably be to the effect of, well, even not even to the effect of it, probably literally be Dr. James and Dr. Billis reporting to the, well, reporting. Is there anywhere we may assist you?
Well, we got to figure out what exactly we got to trade, because Mr. Krabs out there is willing to talk, but he's in business mode now. So unless we got something we can give them, we ain't getting no parts.
Oh, look at
Good to see you're not dead, by the way.
look at Dr. James without pushing the button and say, I've never met a person who didn't need medical supplies. There's a pause as he kind of chokes up. There's only a handful of us left. We could probably spare some.
And there's only so many people that would know what to do with medical supplies.
Yeah, we're gonna have to keep you alive.
But also means we need to trade things which are known to the layman.
Bill kind of looks around his room. You can see it on his face. Like, unless we find a university, I'm not going to be much help here. But
we don't even know what parts. Well, I don't even know what parts the ship needs, or
yeah, we don't have a clue. Speaking of which, Bill reaches over and pushes the intercom button. Captain Scooter, and he kind of winks at James. And kind of, where would we find you, sir? And he lets go of the button.
You're just like, Captain. Oh hell. That's to himself.
Yeah,
He doesn't press the button. He's like,
and
I'm up in the aft bridge, over the drift core. It's a little cramped to get here. I can give you directions, I guess. But would you guys prefer to meet somewhere, y'all can actually walk to? Because I think the cafeteria still works. Power's on.
Now we see James. James make a bad face.
There's a mess in there, right? Just don't mind this. Actually, it's not been long. It smells not too bad yet.
It smells like French fries.
Oh, that's right. There was all the scalding.
Yeah.
The crew they were frying stuff, and and when the gravity went off, we got scalding oil everywhere. They destroyed the crew members that were there. Yeah.
We ironically deep fried the cook.
That.
Yeah, deep fried the cook.
Yeah.
He's like, maybe we should find a different spot. What would I do? I'm gonna do a move here.
Have you told us that dude is actually here? You said he's in business mode, but have you mentioned that he's on the ship?
I did tell him to give us a couple hours.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
Because we still gotta,
So he's hovering outside because we know what the ship looks like. So he's hovering outside waiting 2 hours.
So
okay,
are we still coupled to the ship or no?
No.
Or has he kind of let us go at this point?
He never actually got to that point. We had maneuvering thrusters, and we kind of like he tried to clamp, and then the ship moved. They tried to clamp.
So he tried to do like the crab claw thing, which kind of slipped past.
Yeah.
And tried to do it again. It's like, okay, something's wrong.
And then he did come out in the lobster ship, but we haven't let him in, basically.
Yeah, I said, he's like, listen, I told him if you got a shuttle, we'll be able to load the supplies on. It'll be nice and easy, no fuss. But it's going to take us a couple hours to get our bearings, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he's anxious and doomed, so I think he's sitting outside waiting.
Yeah.
It's like when your friend says, I'll be there in an hour, and 10 minutes later you look out the window and they're standing down at the corner looking at their watch waiting.
Not even looking at their watch waiting. They're sitting in their car across the street.
Yeah.
Just like...
So, yeah.
Anyways. So, yeah, I'm going to say... gather information to see if we can find a
sort of common place. You would have... you're on the backup bridge, so you'd have the, life support thing. If you could fire that up. If you can remember how that works... I would suggest you could fire that up, and for the first time, we'll get an idea of how much of the ship is left.
Yeah.
We know,
Hydroponics is okay because that's where I was when it
yeah,
happened.
we know we've
Yeah.
got hydroponics. We know we've got engines. We know we've got at least some of our rooms. At least
Mhm.
the expedition has some of their rooms. I don't think we've been to staff quarters yet.
No, we haven't
The
checked
bridge
it.
is gone, but now, if you can, what role would this be? To
I was
my
thinking
default is always gather information.
or check your gear maybe.
Oh, that's yes.
There we
Nice.
go.
Click on it and see what
When
it
you
says.
check
Yeah,
to see if you have specific helpful item or resource roll plus supply.
oh, I love that because our supply is reduced right now. So even though you're not looking for a thing, you're looking for
A place to.
Yeah.
something. Yeah, a specific helpful item or resource. Well, you're looking for a resource. You're trying to get this thing turned on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
our
let's
supply
click
is
that.
+3.
Strong hit with a match.
Hey yo.
Wow.
We have it and are ready to act. So
Yeah.
I would say that there's like uh
The conference, or whatever the what's it called, the wardroom,
um
Mm.
that where the
Take one
ship crew
momentum before
meets.
you
yeah,
forget. Yeah.
got that. Yeah, no, I would say it's not the mess hall. I'm thinking
The wardroom would work because I mean it's going to be smaller than the mess room, but on the other hand, there's only 4 of us.
Yeah. It'd
yeah,
be like the
it's
officers' meeting space. Yeah.
yeah. Just don't use that door. It leads to the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and from there we have like there's like conference type stuff so we can like literally look at the ship.
So that's good information for the room we were looking for. But what you were actually the resource you were trying to fire up was the life support system for the whole ship, right?
Mm.
So what other? I mean, we don't have to be specific, but what other parts of the ship did or didn't survive? We know the bridge is gone.
Okay, so we have hydroponics.
We have the
I would
engineering, and
say
we have engineering, but it's broken.
yeah, so we have half of engineering.
Yeah.
I would say the big one that um is like the holy crap is the
Shields are
exocraft
down.
bay
Oh, okay.
Okay.
is almost completely pristine because Scooter parked the shuttle wrong.
Yep,
The door
we
stayed
made that.
closed.
Yeah, we made that joke last time. Yeah, so the shuttle bay is undamaged.
Yeah, like
It's been spaced once, but it's
it's been
undamaged.
spaced, but there's no damage. Lucky 13 is still perfectly moored.
Slightly up against the wall.
Yeah. So we have once we actually go into the cargo bay, we can see what we have. We did
Yeah.
actually like moor everything down properly, and it survived the crash.
Perfect. So,
For other systems,
yeah.
weapons and shields, what is that showing?
You
Or
were
is it not
offered
showing?
you were offered shields, but they're
I
they're
would say
not
they're
currently up.
functional but unpowered.
Yeah, I think that's part of
We just don't have the juice right
needs
now.
fixed. Yeah.
And that's the thing is we have the main engine, the main generator that's working everything.
Yeah.
But the drift engine's down. The main engines are down.
We're basically on generator power.
Yeah, we're basically on the backup fusion reactor.
And the maneuvering
Mhm.
maneuvering thrusters is all we've got.
Yeah.
So we're going
It's-
nowhere.
We have stuff
without
that
help.
works. It's just we don't have enough to power any of it.
Yeah. And I think Raven is determined that we need parts before we're going anywhere. Right. Okay. I like that because that was, to my mind, that was the match, right? We got extra because you got a match.
I like that.
So, wardroom, hydroponics, shuttle bay. Which one of those 3 would you suggest we meet at? You're the one with the map.
I think the wardroom.
Okay. So you give us directions to head there.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys are near the former bridge,
Yeah.
it's going to be reasonably nearby there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I like
don't
the
use that one
idea
door
that it's
over there.
one cold. Yeah, exactly. It's one cold wall away from dead space, right? yeah. There used to be a whole bridge up there with people
Just a
and stuff, but
big red X and spray paint over
over the
doors that
door.
we
Yeah,
can't use.
yeah, perfect.
No.
So we agreed to meet at the wardroom. Raven, Do you go? I gotta ask. I looked
No.
down and I thought she's not gonna leave her engines.
I am going
Okay.
to leave my engines.
Okay.
So I hear that,
Yeah.
but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about, what I needed. I'm going to take a maintenance tunnel. I'm going to suit up and
Okay.
I'm going to go into the shuttle bay.
Okay.
And I'm going to look and see, okay, what can I get to? What can I find? Kind of scavenging. And then I see the guy out there looking, the shuttle out there waiting to come in looking at his watch.
Yeah.
So I am actually going
I love it when people's voices go up like that because we're about to
go
hear a really bad idea.
So Raven is going to get curious and she doesn't want to let him into her ship.
Uh-huh.
So she's going to have a jetpack. She's going to scoot over to his shuttle
Wow. Okay. Jetpacks
and kind
to
of
That's what we call an
effectively
Iticus moment.
effectively sort of knock on the door there or ring the
Yeah.
doorbell or whatever to request entrance to the airlock. I
Yeah.
mean, she's going to go past the screen so they're going to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the only
And there'll probably be a proximity radio sort of thing so I can communicate with
yeah.
them.
But yeah, I love the idea that the three of us sort of get to the wardroom and on one of the screens we just see
The window behind us.
yeah. There goes Raven. Right over to the lobster. I've called it Shin's
Oh,
lobster.
hell.
And
Bird got loose.
So,
yeah. Let's
can
do that.
can I come in?
I want to give the character back to Bison because you created him.
Okay.
So
Um,
you got all the same words as I do. He's anxious. He's doomed.
I would say that he's like, you catch him, he's like looking over his like the diagnostics, the current status of his ship, the shuttle that he's on. Everything's still at like 98%. One goes down to 97.9. He checks that. And then you knock on the door, like, yes, bloody. But I thought I was coming to your ship, not other way around. What are you doing here?
I wanted to have a little chat first.
Okay.
And she's thinking in her mind, with
Yeah.
your shuttle?
You're not same person as I spoke to. Who are you?
I'm the engineer.
Eh. Works for me. If she is not, I'm going to die anyways. And you
I'm unarmed. I forgot to bring a weapon, so I'm unarmed. Oops.
bring a weapon.
Should have
Oh,
thought of
that
that before.
is certainly good news. He presses the buttons, and you see the little side
And
door open.
as the as the airlock cycles
Please wait for decompression.
and I start getting the feel, and like when I actually step into the shuttle, I want to get a feel for the ship. Now, I don't have a bond with this ship.
Yep.
And I don't know what this ship normally sounds like. So I am going to let's see, where's
Starships. We can actually roll for it if you want. The bits of it.
Well,
if
I
you
was
like.
going to roll for gather information.
Okay.
When I gather information by studying disassembling a machine or device. Oh, I'm going to use my new ability.
Yeah.
Setting to re-roll any dice. So if I want to re-roll a die, I can. On a match, you reveal let me just copy this over into my. Actually, let me just copy it over to here.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to copy it into my notes, but if I copy it there, chat can see it too. All right. So under moves, I am going to gather information. On a match. Okay. So when I get to modifier, I'm tempted to do a -1 because I don't know this ship and I don't have any bonds with any ships other than the favor.
And you can re-roll too, so
And I can re-roll.
anything.
So I'm going to go -1
Okay. Yeah.
to make it hard because I don't even know if I can. Weak hit. So I get a weak hit even with it. All right. So on a weak hit, the information provides new insight, but also complicates the quest. And take 1 momentum.
Or
Okay.
you can
And let's see. I could re-roll any die.
any of those dice. So you could
So
re-roll.
I could re-roll the challenge die.
Yes, you could. What in this case? What I'm looking at, I'm thinking I would re-roll the 4 and the 8, your die and the challenge die, to try and get higher than a 4, because that's a maybe leave that because that's a 5 -1, so that's not a bad roll. But I would at least re-roll the 8, the D10.
Oh, it's an 8, right? Because I'm not trying to go over it. I'm trying to go under it.
Yeah, you're trying to re-roll a D10
I'm
under
trying to go
your
over
4.
it. Okay, yeah. All right, so I'm going to re-roll that 8, and that's a D10.
Yep.
Yeah. It's going to be a weak hit either way.
It's a minimum weak hit, so it was a 9. So
Yeah,
it actually got worse. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so that's still a weak hit. All right, so okay, the information provides a new insight. So as I kind of listen to the ship, I mean, the complication is okay. What I know of my ship doesn't directly translate here. The ship doesn't sound the same.
It doesn't talk to you.
But I got a weak hit, so I can understand it.
Yeah.
It has abnormal sensor readings. I went with the First Look Oracle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's got a weird ping in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally
so
it's just the shuttle though.
Ping. Yeah, it's just the shuttle.
You haven't been to the crab yet.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think in Raven terms, it sounds weird. Like it's not just different. There's something wrong, something not right.
Yeah. So
it's like Doctor Who's been running the TARDIS for 2,000 years with the emergency brake on, and that's what makes that noise.
Yeah. So I've come in, and so I take the helmet off. You know, it's kind of like the eyes are closed, and I'm listening. So that's what Captain Isaac sees as I come on.
Are you blind? Do you see me?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I do see you. I was just well, I was just greeting your shuttle, saying hi to the shuttle. I felt it was only polite, you know. Oh, and hi, I'll greet you too. That seems like it's probably polite.
Hello. I'm Isaac. Would you like to join the revolution?
I'm Raven. Tell me about your revolution.
Okay. I have a feeling that this is going to be like a faction oracle.
What I was thinking, this is the perfect time to build the sector, as this guy dumps his guts to Raven about the 2 locations that are in this sector and everything about it and what he's rebelling against.
As Scooter and the 2 doctors try to argue over what is essential equipment.
I was going to say, well, the 3 of us tried to figure out the espresso machine was what I was thinking. two PhDs and a con man trying to figure out an espresso machine. But
Okay, so how do we do this?
Let's build a starting region. First things first, we determined we were in the terminus sort of sphere, which means that typically
Did we?
there are.
It's like the one just before the end.
Yeah.
Expanse. I thought
Yeah.
expanse.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so used. I get that backwards, and I knew I was going to get it backwards because in the Frank Herbert stories, terminus is the outer ring, not the inner
And
ring.
in the foundation,
course.
it's the
For
interior.
the foundation,
the
yeah.
inner-
It's so yeah.
Now,
So
you want one that really throws me off? In Mass Effect, there is the terminus expanse.
Oh, good. Okay. So,
we are in the expanse.
Kevin.
So yeah.
Kevin,
Mhm.
change your map over to the sector map.
Yes, thank you. Bing. Look at us
We
go.
set this up so that chat would be able to sort of see it a little bit.
There we go. That should be working.
He's kind of
Yeah.
hiding.
It's
he's
small
very
on the bottom,
small.
but it's there. So
Yes.
we are in the expanse. Only a few bold pioneers have delved these far-flung reaches. But we're not in the void, but we're near it because I have to keep remembering that because Dr. James. So I think the first thing we do, it's not even on the sheet here, everything north, like using the traditional north, south, east, west on the map, everything north of where it says sector map qualifies as the void. We came that close to appearing in a place we were never coming back from. What do you think of that?
How did we get so far off track? Oh, well, that's our issue for later.
That's part of the issue, yeah. So, determining the number of settlements. Typically, in the expanse, there's only 2 settlements. So, I put the 2 dots on the map, the 2 question marks. That doesn't mean there isn't more, but this is what he's going to tell us about. This is what he knows. Right? There's always, as we move and as we try and get towards these places, we'll have whole experiences. We have to find paths to get to these places unless he's going to help us. So,
I think he'd probably start with kind of what he would consider like his home, whether it be like a derelict or a planet. It's probably what he would start with.
So, generate settlement details. It's perfect. That's because that's the next step. Somebody go to the oracles, please. And there's settlements on the far right-hand side. Give us first of all, a settlement name.
Do we want a planet or just a settlement? We'll figure out the planet later.
If you push, actually, yeah, let's do
type.
it.
How about type?
Settlement, I think,
there a
starts with location, doesn't it? Yeah, planet side or orbital or deep space. So let's just work our way down the list. So
it is planet side.
So it's a planet side, yep.
So
let's just keep working down the list. Forget the book here. The oracles in order. Population. So this is we determined this is his base, right? So
yeah, this is where he's from.
So there's going to be a whole bunch of Russian peoples. That's yeah. So population wise,
dozens.
There's only dozens of them.
Hey,
I love
for
that.
A reason, baby.
It's a real little rotten ass outpost. It's like a couple of cargo containers and a pressure tank. Right? There's almost nothing there. I love it.
It's a crater with intelligent life in it.
With a skin on it. Yeah. All right. First look. When he starts to tell us about it, what does that give us?
What does that supposed to mean? What? Descriptor plus focus?
Oh, because you rolled a 91 to 100. It basically means roll twice, basically.
It's an undiscovered hazard.
It has an undiscovered hazard. Perfect.
So there's something wrong with the planet. Nobody knows what it is.
The way I hear it from him is every once in a while people just wrong accent. Every once in a while people just disappear.
Okay, and so is this a planet? Oh, this is a planet.
It's planet side. This is some little thing.
This is a settlement on a planet.
Yeah, so it's with only dozens of people. It has an undiscovered hazard and initial contact. We'll just go down the list here. I love it. Let's create this. So somebody roll me initial contact. Asking for help. We had that. He wants us to revolution, right? Asking to join the revolution.
Already tolerant.
They're tolerant. As long as you want to join the revolution, they're good with you. Projects. I don't know if we need to roll.
That's why this guy invited us to join the revolution is the diplomat.
Yes. And
I kind of want
that's kind of like the
roll for trouble.
The sort of the settlement's focus.
It was
engineering. So
yeah, it was centered to be an engineering project, and in my head it's kind of fallen apart maybe. But trouble. Let's find out what's wrong.
Unknown
Hostile life
forms.
forms. Woohoo! So that answers the undiscovered hazard. Something keeps eating people. We just don't know what it is yet. And the name.
Ramshackle.
I mean, sure.
Yep. There we
It
go.
was originally supposed to be Ram's Shackle because it was a prison colony, but the apostrophe fell off years ago, and nobody bothered to change it.
All
Ram's
right.
Hackle. There we go.
So this is Isaac's home, and in my head, I mean, when he's describing this to Raven, it is full of passion and love and a heartfelt connection with the other people that live there and all that good stuff, because they're all going to fight the revolution. So that's the first settlement, which leaves only one. So who is inspired all this hate? Who is the who needs to be revolted against?
Oh, I pressed the wrong one, but we're gonna go with Ramshackle.
That's okay. So you did a bunch at the end of those, Scooter. Let's have Raven roll this one.
Oh,
So,
I've been typing the notes.
oh,
Okay.
you've been typing. Okay, I've been writing by hand. So no, you go ahead and type.
I've been typing as well.
All right. So in that case, Scooter, keep rolling.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm the roller.
Who are we? Who did they hate?
All right.
So
should
just
we
start
do
right at the top
faction
again.
or
I think just start with the second settlement. We do factions once we start building the actual settlements themselves.
Okay.
A little more detail.
Another
So
planet
this
side.
other one's planet side.
Okay.
So
Could be same
both-
planet, could be a different planet. We'll figure that out later.
Yeah, we haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
We are in the Expanse.
Few?
Few. What is
That's
that
even-
supposed
wow.
to mean?
Okay.
That's
even
less
fewer
less
than
than dozens. Yeah, that's like
Less than
literally a
dozens.
handful.
That doesn't sound right. Let's do that again.
Oh no, but that may still make sense. Because the thing
You-
is,
you
if
did
it's
it
the
twice,
Few,
it
could
must be.
the few just have
It must
so
be,
much like authority over an area.
Oh, this is the in my head. This is the bosses that
I know
sent
what we're
them
both
out.
thinking. All right.
The boss that sent them out. But let's keep going. Just keep rolling. First look.
Oh, beautiful architecture. Yep, it's coming together.
Oh, yep. I'm just gonna write
Okay.
posh. It's a shorter and beautiful
If you notice,
architecture.
the other place was engineers. Now this is the architecture.
Yeah. Initial contact captured.
Captured.
Oh, that's why we're
Okay.
rebelling against them, is it was captured.
Slave labor.
Yeah. Who,
Slave
who's
engineering
in
labor.
charge? Who's in charge of this?
Tolerant again.
Okay. I mean, as long as you're willing to work for them, they're as tolerant as can be.
Yeah.
I guess.
Both sides are very, very tolerant as long as you believe exactly what they believe.
Exactly.
And if you don't believe that, just ask them. They'll tell you how tolerant they are.
Alrighty.
Action theme. Search.
Search. Fame.
Fame.
Nice.
They.
It writes itself.
Yep.
It
They're.
really does.
Oh gosh.
What's it called? Oh, this is the key. This is the
Oh,
absolute.
okay. What's
I
the
am
trouble here?
preparing. Oh yes, the trouble.
Social strike. Revolution. Really?
Wow.
All right.
This
Now,
is
what's this bigger? settlement
Almost
name
creepy.
called?
Now, what is the name called?
It
No.
can't be Ramshackle
Oh.
too.
I can't
Paxton.
get 69 twice.
No.
Well, you just
Paxton.
did. Now it's called Paxton.
Paxton. Okay.
Ramshackle. Also Ramshackle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a different section of Ramshackle.
Oh, unless it's still Ram's Hackle or whatever you called the other one.
Oh,
It's like one's just
That's
new
too
Ramshackle.
farcical.
Yeah, that's too much. Yeah.
farcical.
Okay. So yeah, this one's called Paxton. All right.
That's it.
So, a small group of people on Paxton. This is all delivered in a passionate Russian accent. A small group of people on Paxton, possibly as few as 4 or 5 of them, have enslaved an entire group of engineers and sent them to a horrible planet with aliens that keep killing them and are forcing them to work there, and therefore there needs to be a revolution. You're right, this did not need to be any more farcical. This is all literally rolled right from the oracles. So in my head, it's Russian tea from Silver Service, is it, Raven? Over this whole story, because this is a story, right? This isn't an afternoon as the three of us are looking out the window going, "Is she coming back?" Do you think they're gonna leave?
You think
That's
that's going to take
that's
Raven
our
to go?
engineer.
Yeah.
And our ship is fucked. We don't even know how to get over there. Like I'm sure that the bills or that the doctors are not spaceship rated or jetpack rated. Scooter probably is, but it's fake. So
Well,
he's
Scooter knows
rated.
how to use the shuttle.
yes, that's true. Yeah. So
So my question is, as I'm, you know, getting to know Captain Isaac, um, what does he need?
actually, hang on a second because we're not actually done making the
Oh,
thing.
okay.
We still have to generate the planets that the two of them are on. So there should be space.
Oh, is it two settlements on the same planet?
Oh,
That's what we're about to find out. So the first one is a Jovian
gas
world.
giant.
So that's Ramshackle is. Oh, that makes they're mining a Jovian world, and the aliens are
That's
coming
weird,
up out of
yeah.
it and eating them. They're mining for gases, right? But okay.
Mm.
And the second one, if you roll Jovian world again, then it's the same world, right?
Are we saying it has life or doesn't have life?
Oh, is that part
Well,
of the world?
Ramshackle has life because there's some sort of
Yeah.
life form eating people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're saying the Jovian world supports life.
Or at least in
It's an irradiated area or object.
No, we already have a peril. We don't need to roll a peril
Yeah.
for Ramshackle.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
this
we're
is
good
for
there.
the planet, though.
Oh, so
Okay.
the entire rest of the planet is irradiated.
So the air is breathable, but it's also, you're gonna grow 3 eyes.
Well, actually, if this
Okay.
is a Jovian world and their planet side, it has to be a moon, right?
Yeah.
They have to be on a
Ooh.
low orbiting moon that's sort of skimming off the planet.
We also could, if you want me to re-roll it to kind of get a better idea than a jovial one.
Yeah, because they got to be planet side, so I don't think you can't be planet side on a Jovian world. So yeah, let's just.
It's
stick to the
rocky
reroll.
now.
Rocky world, there you go. That makes more sense.
It's rocky. Oh, it has. Oh, I mean, it's great for our ship because it's irradiated areas, which
Yep.
means we could use it for fuel potentially.
So that's why they can't leave the little area that they're in. If they leave the area, they get irradiated. If they stay, they're getting eaten.
Yeah, it's it's like one of the very few safe zones on the planet.
Yeah, and it's full of pointy teethed aliens. Yeah. Okay. So the second planet. Roll the second. I think if we roll Rocky World again, it's the same planet, and if we roll something else, then it's a different one.
Okay, so this rocky planet, is this a rocky moon around a Jovian planet?
We can go with
We
that.
wanna
We can
keep
do that too.
yeah.
Yeah. Rocky. Yeah. So Rocky Moon around planet. Yeah, that makes sense. So. Okay. And the second one, give us the other planet, because it's only just generate the planet. Don't roll on
We
the
have a
tables
moon and a
available for
planet.
each planet. When you visit these places, you can reveal more.
Oh,
Is what
okay.
it actually says. So.
I see.
So Paxton, somebody roll for Paxton. Tell us what we see.
Jungle.
A jungle world. Okay, it is a.
A
So
jungle
it's
with beautiful
not the
architecture.
same.
It's all lush and there's bananas growing wild.
It's a different moon.
Yeah,
That's
Well,
a
it
good
could be a
idea.
different planet. It could even be a
Could
different
be.
planet.
I think I like it as a different planet, but it's a wonderful place to be. I mean, this is a plantation. We're talking about an energy plantation here, right? We've got the 5 rich people living in the nice place on the jungle moon, soaking up the sunshine and listening to the birds song, while the engineers are all dying in slave labor camps trying to harvest helium from Jupiter. They want to start a revolution. I think that all hangs together.
That works for me. It's a nice little slave revolt.
It also has a bunch of engineers, which incentivizes us a little more saying
Exactly.
hi.
If we save him and them, yeah, because he's our connection, so we will always have a connection through him to these people. So we can, especially if we save them, they will be eternally grateful, and they might even give us stuff. But the next thing is generate.
Somebody want to look at my notes on the map and see if I've captured this sufficiently.
Okay, yep, perfect.
Yeah.
And while somebody's doing that, somebody else hit the generate stars. Hit a stellar object for me, because I do want to have 1 star
Ooh.
for this.
How
I will
about
do
you
that.
slap the stellar object button? You haven't slapped it.
Oh, I'm right here. All right, fine.
Ooh,
Oh, it's just a glowing orange star.
It's actually almost normal. Almost.
Weirdly, the sun is actually green. If you're in
Okay,
space,
cool.
it's pale green. Our sun. It only looks the color it is because it's coming through the blue atmosphere. Well, the atmosphere is only blue because never. It's a long
It's
physics.
fine.
It's a lot of physics. Anyway,
It's okay, Bill. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go with it. I didn't mean to hit that
he's a
part of your
cosmologist too,
background.
so yeah. So it is a large orange star. I love it.
So is there only one? Is this essentially a solar
One.
system?
I
I mean,
like.
this is our
Yeah.
sector map. So this is
Yeah.
a star system.
I think that makes sense so far. At least that's all we would know so far. Actually, I think I even have. Did I make? Or are they just off the screen here? I thought I did. Oh yes, there they are. There's a big orange star. Womp. There we go. Well, let's make it bigger. Oops. There. Nice big star. And then the next thing is technically to create the sector map, which we're doing right now. We have our locations. They are all marked. What we all need to do now is obviously things will be added as we move along. But what we need to do now is add a passage. Passages are charted routes along the drifts, so you can't drift unless you have found a passage. So Scooter's fine until we find a passage, because he will not have to get his Drift for Dummies book and work it through it chapter by chapter to get us where we're going. Because right at the moment we don't have any.
And we can't go anywhere.
We can't go anywhere anyway. Yep.
Because we've established the drift engine's down.
Yes, and so for, like it says here, for gameplay perspective, following a passage allows you to resolve the outcome of a perilous journey in one roll. And it's a less chance of things going wrong. Other than that, you have to work your way towards it over a series of adventures, most of them bad, which is how we're going to have to start here.
I'm going to propose that Raven didn't ask about any passages to anywhere.
Okay.
So we don't resolve that yet.
Well, or we can draw it on the map, but we don't know it. Just so we've got it.
There's a passage somewhere.
There's only going to be one from the Expanse. So they would join either two settlements or a settlement to the edge of the map. So we could do something as simple as connect one of these to the outside world. But again, I would say we don't know.
I asked about it. I didn't ask.
No, okay.
No.
And I've got a little note, passage is TBD.
Yeah.
To be determined.
Okay, to be determined. Perfect.
Really?
Okay, in that case.
We need to know more about the area.
Yeah. So, the other things we need to do, we don't need to do right now, because the next thing is called zoom in on a settlement, and so until we get to one, which means we're going to have to do a whole expedition to get where we're going, to the first one, and once we get there, we can zoom in and gather the information on it, atmosphere and all that sort of thing. We have created our connection, which is the next step of creating our area, except for they need a rank. So this is the same as before, anywhere from troublesome up to epic. I mean, there's only a couple dozen people on his world, and he's the ambassador, so to speak.
So we need the rank of the contact.
Yeah, that's up to us. How is he troublesome, dangerous, formidable, extreme, or epic? And that's relative to this sector, right? There's only there's only 30 people in this sector. There's 5 of them over here, 25 over here, and he's like the ambassador for these 25. So he's fairly important.
Formidable?
So
maybe 3 out of 5. So yeah, formidable, that's the middle one, right?
Yeah.
Works.
Yeah, for this sector, he's kind of a big deal, but to everybody else, he's basically just some crazy dude complaining about working conditions.
And we've chosen their home, which is their first settlement. They've got their name, and the only thing left to do, I guess at the end of all that conversation, he kind of goes, oh, and by the way, the entire sector is, and somebody roll a sector trouble. I'm not sure if it's going to, there's on there? Okay.
Oh, all right.
There's a friggin' space worm.
That makes sense.
That's why
we're next to the void.
We
Spaceborne life.
The friggin' space worm.
So-
Because my other other joke was if we're this close to the void, we hit the void and bounced.
Okay, so space worm is affecting
Spaceborne life form.
drift.
I'm just
Drift.
It's
saying.
life form.
Oh, I like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's affecting.
affecting drift passages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being
Oh,
an
which explains why he wouldn't know about any, even if you did ask him, and why there's none. As far as we know, it may have been moved. But yeah, the space worm. Everybody's afraid to drift because the space worm has been affecting the pathways, and you'd never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
Wrap it.
Space.
Put your bow on it. And kiss it goodbye, because that sector's done until we get to a planet and actually introduce ourselves and get going. We have built our sector.
So I would like to know, now that I've had time in here and I've listened to him, um, I want to either ask or learn or infer or whatever. What does he need? What does Isaac need?
Okay, we can hit a goal again. Other than the revolution, you mean personally?
Just
Well,
wants
no,
to
because it's like,
Oh.
what does he need? Because that's going to give us information about what do
Oh,
we trade with him.
he would like a relationship, please.
So what? He's going to be our friend just because if we're willing to be his friend?
There's only 25 people in this whole sector. He wants, and then maybe they don't. Maybe nobody likes him. But yeah, he says
That's why he's the only person in the revolution. Everyone thinks he's a jerk.
as you sort of suss him out, what you realize is that what he really wants is a friend, which works out really well because he's our contact. So I think that by asking that question and getting that result, I think you should get a bond with Isaac.
Because I actually came out and drank his vodka laced tea.
Yep.
And
let him tell you
and
all
let him
about his
tell me about
woes and yeah.
Okay, so let me
Vodka
go.
laced tea or tea laced vodka?
Well,
Depends
I
how
mean,
long into the conversation we're in.
okay.
I use vodka instead of water.
Very efficient.
Put tea bag in vodka. We used to pour Tang
Yeah.
into a 40 ouncer of vodka and shake it and drink that. That was mix. Never mind.
Skittles.
Okay,
It was the
location.
80s.
Do we have an actual name for his ship?
Oh, let's
No,
name his
he
ship.
didn't-
I know it's
not give
here.
it a name.
If nothing else, we can use the Derelict's one. But I think there's Starship's name right down there. Bam! The Nomad.
Oh no! It supports him being alone.
Yeah. Oh, we created the
Okay, so he's
saddest
captain of the
bastard in
Nomad.
the world.
Bill's gonna learn about this guy and he's like, wow, I thought I had problems.
Yeah. I tell you what, and Bill's like, just go in the airlock. I hit a button, I know. It'll all be over in a second.
Bill.
I'm not going to do that character because I did that character before. I played a dwarf who had who used to go into fugue states that he didn't remember and commit murders. He was a serial killer. And he'd wake up with no memory of what he did except that he knows he did something. And just as a quick side note, he turned himself in. The guy who was GMing the game basically just refused to try him. So my character, Dane Iron Fist, resurrected one of his victims to testify against himself in court. He finally forces the GM to find him guilty and send him to the gallows. And the GM tried to save him on the gallows too. And it's like, nope, I jump. And
jump.
Yep. And the DM, the bastard that he is, he's a doctor. He's a fucking smart dude. He wouldn't let me go. He says, you wake up in the walls of the city. And we had met before this ancient silver dragon, but they chose to present as only being this long and collect silver coins in the walls of the city from the people to bring small wishes. I appear in her lobby and she pats Dan on the shoulder and says, wait, your time is still to come. And that's how he ended that character. So Austin, by the way.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Nice.
one of you
that
would.
sounds
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. Was that GM? Yeah.
Speaking of the Ironsworn connection,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. This was before that in the game. Oh, one more line with that. Austin got into the game I was in before that was all GMs, and we were using it to practice new different things. And Austin talked himself into that system, having never or into that game having never GM'd a second in his life, and
And
held his
he's
own.
a brilliant
Yeah.
GM. Oh my God, he's a dark bastard, and
Yep.
playing at his table is marvelous.
Yeah.
Some of the things he did during Iron Sword,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I,
Yeah.
go to YouTube and watch it. But after you
Yeah.
That
watch,
is a good
well, I guess
point.
we
Yes,
kind of
that is a
bust
good
the end of
point.
this almost.
Go to YouTube because we are basically, I think.
we're at the
I
end.
think-
Of the
I would
session
like
move.
to. I would
Okay.
like
Yep, go for it.
Mhm.
to. So I've had this nice chat with Captain Isaac,
Yes. Yeah.
and I've kind of sussed him out, and I trust my intuition, and I'm starting to get comfortable with his shuttle. So Raven invites him in.
Okay.
It's like, come and dock in Shuttle Bay 2.
Wait, when did we
Um,
get a sex shuttle bay?
we
told you about
have
that
a
one?
second Shuttle Bay now.
We should have
Um,
mustered there, and nobody would have died.
Well, it used to be called the bridge.
I got those
No, I'm
fuckers too.
kidding. I'm kidding. I would not bring him to the bridge.
Bill sharpening his knife.
the
I'd have got
scene of
them
Bridge.
too. I'd have got them too.
So I get him to now. I have to go back in because I have to open the bay doors for you and all. But I'll go do that. And so I go drifting by and back in.
Oh, good, she's
And-
still alive.
And
That's the window.
I open the shuttle bay door so that he can bring his shuttle in. And we close it and get the atmosphere in there and open it up.
Very
And I said,
important stuff.
yes, as we all know.
Don't build that thing. That's going to be a verb now. Don't build
So-
that.
I'm going to invite him in. I'm going to, we're in a bit of disarray. Something
Sorry about the mess.
pulled us out of the passage. Somebody pulled us out of the something pulled us out of the passage or something. We're in a bit of disarray at the moment. But let me take you to the boardroom.
Not many people survive an encounter with the space worm.
Space worm?
Yes, it took a
See.
bite out of you.
Oh, is that what happened to us?
And that, I think, is where, yeah. Just casually.
Although I was going to introduce Captain Isaac to the crew and realizing I don't know how to introduce
That's
any of
fine.
you because
We'll
That's
do that
perfect.
next time.
We got a week to think
Yeah.
about it now. So yeah. Just a real quick summary. And this is for the players. I would like you to go to first. I would like you to go to your vows page, and think about the last 2 hours, and don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself a click if you think you moved them forward at all. What was you're shaking your head? No, Scooter.
I got to do something worthy of clearing the governor's bounty on my head.
I think
do you
saving
have a
this.
new vow in your new roles, an additional vow? You don't know.
Oh, I haven't added a vow yet.
But I would suggest that saving this ship from its inevitable self-destruction has got to be at least one mark.
At least one.
Like I said, don't be hard on yourself because this vow has to be extreme or epic. It's going to take you somewhere between 20 and 40 yes, I did a things to finish this vow. So don't be hard on yourself. Be hard on yourself in the game. Do not be hard on yourself clicking vows or you'll never get anywhere. So add a new vow if you think you should have today. That's another thing you can do. It's a roll, but like I said, what I did was I wrote it in here because he's going to make that vow was going to happen one way or the other. If he failed, he was just going to do it again and again and again until he figured it out. So make sure you do that. The other one, again, like we did, again, connections. I got to go in there and put our new connection in with his new stuff. But also, I would like everybody to go to their legacies tab and think. and not specifically like you're allowed to double dip here. If anything you did in this session feels like it moved you along in your quests, not necessarily vows, but quests. So Dr. James maybe keeping people alive might be a quest. If you did something like that, that gets a mark. Um, Bonds. If you bonded with somebody else, I thought about doing one with Dr. James, but I don't think Dr. Bill and Dr. James have bonded yet. I don't think.
Quite
Not at
yet.
that point yet.
But Scooter and Raven definitely have, and Raven and our contact definitely have. We all are going about to meet the contact, but I think at this point you're the only one that has a bond with them. But I would take a click on that too. And discoveries, those things that you
We
set out
discovered
to.
the sector.
We just yes, everybody gets at least one for discovering the sector, and I'm actually going to take. Uh, no, actually, Bill hasn't looked
Okay, so
outside
where
yet, so only one.
so where do we put this?
This is on the Legacies tab, and there's quests, bonds, and discoveries.
Legacies tab. Okay.
So I would say for you to add one for mark one for bonds for meeting. You're our new
Okay.
social butterfly. So yeah, add one
Yeah.
for meeting Isaac.
And you
I
would have
took
had
one
two.
for discoveries. So.
Yeah, Raven would have had two already from when, or for the bonds,
Yeah, I already
anyways.
marked that
Yeah,
earlier,
Okay.
right.
Just
But this
making
is
sure.
in addition to that. So that's the big ones to check: your vows and your legacies. Every time we do this, check that. So, but until next time, we're going to leave our four survivors dangling at the edge of existence, out in the middle of nowhere, and apparently about to join the universe's smallest revolution. Ah. Until next time, thank you so much to Bison underscore Stonefist. Scooter is just all Scooter's missing is a cigarello and a cowboy hat. Uh,
In my head, he's a little bit more redneck than that, so I'm
okay.
thinking
Oh,
a
so like a mesh baseball cap and a wife beater T-shirt.
yep, kind
Oh,
of
oh, I don't like
everything
Scooter.
everything he owns is a little bit greasy.
Yeah,
Since coming onto this ship because he's the pilot now,
yeah,
everything he owns is a little bit greasy.
yeah. That's fair.
But
All right. Well, thank you for that character, Mudkip. Thank you for the sane doctor, because Bill's is now. I mean, his Doctor Strange is his literally his name. Exter, his last name means strange, so he is literally Doctor Strange. So thank you for being Doctor Not Quite as Strange.
boy, howdy.
I think James is gonna. I suspect James is going to have his hands full, healing us. And I mean, we're about to start a revolution, so every revolution needs a doctor. So thank you for bringing that character to us. I have a sneaking suspicion you're going to be the sane one. Um, because we all know it isn't Raven. But thank you, Cars, for it. You are
Not me.
Chaos Gremlin Engineer is a combination that is it has got a lot of possibilities. A lot of possibilities that I'm looking forward to.
I got an Ithacus moment.
Yes, oh yeah, you got an Iticus character. So but
I'm so
we've
I
got
excited.
honestly thought Scooter was going to be the rough one, but the second we headed out to like the Terminus,
yeah,
sorry, the Expanse.
the expanse.
Fuck, I did it.
Yeah.
We went to the Expanse. It's like, okay, well, he's not going to be getting into trouble until we find a world with more than 3 people on it.
Yeah. Turns out that was not the case.
This is
But
not that planet.
so thank you to our players. Thank you also to anybody who watched us live or is watching the VOD on Twitch. There's a lot of folks doing that. And if you are watching on YouTube and you watched all the way to here, please hit the like button, hit the thumb, leave a comment, do all the things that the algorithm likes and enjoys, because we want more people to see this. This is a really unique system that you saw. Everything you saw tonight was made up on the fly. It was all rolled for random tables, and it all worked out. It's kind of a running gag here that the dice always help tell the story, and they sure did tonight. So thank you all for joining us. It's a little weird watching this kind of game, I suspect, because you're seeing a lot of behind the screens and in front of the screens and the characters and the players all in a mesh, and I love it because this is how stories get told.
And especially right now as we're still learning the mechanics.
Exactly.
The
But
mechanics should fade a little more as we go on.
a bit, but I don't think they're going to fade a lot because they're so mechanical. Like you click this and it says add one momentum and do this. So we're going to have them open. We're going to have to talk our way through them. We'll just get more used to that. And I think people will get used to watching it too. I suspect we're going to build an audience rather than start with one. But we're going to, because inevitably these characters are going to get in trouble. They're going to do horrible things to themselves. And it's going to be spectacularly fun to watch. But the only thing left is the important bit. We do 2 hours and something odd of gaming tonight, but the really important bit happens now. Because until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.